exactly how many deer there are in the country. We're an organisation that spends a lot of time looking at impacts, but we don't get involved in the direct culling normally. We support collaborative management, we support landowners in achieving their objectives on the ground. And it's really important to look at what the landowners' objectives are to their areas of land that they manage. And that might be for arable crop protection, it might be to protect the environment in terms of their woodland structure. They're creating a forestry product from their woodlands, and if the deer impact on that regeneration, it causes a significant loss later on in the woodlands regeneration. We've got a good idea of what we're dealing with in local areas. Across the whole country, we've got a vague idea that there's probably between 1.5 and 2 million, based on research that a lot of people have been doing over the last 10 years. Doing impact monitoring of our woodlands, so we're looking at the impact that deer cause to habitat, and then we're doing population modelling on thermal imaging data, collecting data at night of where deer are moving around, counting deer at night, and then looking at the population modelling from that.
We don't really need to define the difference between hunting and stalking. We can just get rid of those terms and call it exactly what it is, and that's killing. No matter whether you're killing because you claim that it's sport or because you claim that this somehow helps wildlife management, at the end you are, of course, hunting down an animal to take his or her life. That is what deer stalking is.
Here in the UK now don't have any natural predators. Historically their predators would have been things like the wolf and lynx. There are some people that would like to see lynx and wolf reintroduced to the UK. One of the problems with that is that we're such a populated country now, they would come into conflict with humans a lot more readily than they used to. So we've just shot a young muntjac doe, which is probably coming up for a year old, and muntjac non-native to the UK, so the policy with most places is to pretty much shoot on sight. So here we're just recording the date, the sex, the weight, the age of the animal, young, mature or old, the location we shot it, who shot it, and then we record where the carcass ends up eventually, which in this case will be the game dealer. An area just outside Hereford, between Hereford and Leominster, we were asked to help restore the biodiversity in a native woodland. It was a site of special scientific interest, altogether about 49 hectares, but it was being impacted by a fallow deer herd that probably ranged over 200 square kilometres. So we're trying to protect 49 hectares of woodland, but the deer are over 200 square kilometres. So what we did was we worked with the landowners to reduce that deer population, not wipe it out, but to reduce it. And we reduced it probably from about 1,500 deer to 700 deer. But the impact on the native biodiversity was spectacular. And we're really only talking about 2 years. We thought it would take longer, but 2 years later, the native biodiversity was unbelievably good within the woodland, whereas before there'd been virtually nothing other than sort of mud on the floor. But what was more interesting probably is that there was a major road that ran through this woodland, the A49, and up until the cull, we had actually had 50 road traffic accidents a year involving deer on that road. After the cull, and we're already talking about reducing the population by half, there were none. So, and that wasn't what we were expecting. We weren't expecting it to be quite so dramatic, but we clearly moved the deer around such that they weren't then causing the accidents. So yeah, we can be effective. When we're looking at damage to woodland in particular, there's two options to reduce damage to woodland. One of them is to fence an area, and the other one is to shoot the deer harder. Fencing an area really is only a temporary measure. It's very expensive for the landowner, and it doesn't really solve the problem. If anything, it puts more pressure on the deer, because those deer are moving into other areas. And then if you weren't to shoot them, the population would just increase so much that disease and illness would start to spread amongst the deer themselves. So it seems hard to explain to those that don't understand, but really shooting the deer to control the population is the most beneficial for the deer themselves.